Letitia James is going to find herself in a little bit of a pickle. And the reason for that is she just doesn't seem to understand that there is this thing called federal law. She came out with a tweet this week that says basically New York has laws that protect immigrants and limit cooperation with federal immigration enforcements. Those laws should be followed by law enforcement and officials in our state. I'll always uphold our laws and protect immigrant New Yorkers. But that's going to be kind of hard, especially when Donald Trump is saying he's sending them to Gitmo.
I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back, so we're going to send them out to Guantanamo. This will double our capacity immediately, right? And that's a tough place to get out of. Today's signings bring us one step closer to eradicating the scourge of migrant crime in our communities once and for all. And it was just it's just an unforced error that we even have to be doing this. Now we need Congress to provide full funding for the complete and total restoration of our sovereign borders, as well as financial support to remove
themselves. But 87% support deporting criminal undocumented migrants.
Yes, I don't know anybody in the world. I don't know anybody in the world who wants to keep the criminals. I don't know anybody.
Okay, well, I get somebody. I get somebody, and her name would be one Letitia James. She wants to keep the criminals. She wants to keep everyone. She wants to make sure, and don't forget, the administration's stance on this is if you're here illegally, then you are, by nature of being here illegally, a criminal. Anyway, Letitia James wants to keep them all. So she's already priming herself. She already filed suit on one thing. She's proud because she filed 100 lawsuits last go around, so she's getting ready. She's got many more coming, she says, because she will fight him on this tooth and nail. She's got steel in her back.
Under my leadership, my office sued Donald Trump over 100 times. And the basis of all of that was Project 2025. So he cannot distance himself from something that he has attempted to implement when he was president of these United States. And we were successful 70% of the time. We were the firewall. Democratic Attorney General.
Yeah. Okay, so she's teaming up with California. California is like, we're not going to let him do this. No. We have jurisdiction. But here's this problem, you see. You got something called the Constitution. And the Constitution, if it does anything for the federal government, it certainly, thank you, Simon Ho, for your generosity, it certainly absolutely affords the federal government the ability to go after criminals here illegally. Like, they control their borders. I mean, how many times did we have to hear from Texas? Think about what Governor Abbott was dealing with. Remember back in Texas, he wanted to try and clean things up there. He wanted to try and enforce his border, and guess what? He couldn't. And the reason he couldn't was because federal government is in charge of that. So Letitia, you can pretend that you're going to have a whole bunch of whatever power on this front. I'm telling you, it's not happening. Simon, I'll get to your comment in just a moment. But here, let's go back to Letitia, because she said this week how she was suing him.
Not only does this administration's new policy put people at risk, but it is plainly unconstitutional. The president does not get to decide which laws to enforce and for whom. When Congress dedicates funding for a program, the president cannot pull that funding on a whim. Later today, I am leading and joining with my colleagues, my fellow Democratic attorney generals, in suing this administration to stop this illegal freeze of essential funds for our state. We will not stand for any illegal policy that puts essential services for millions of Americans at risk. And we work tirelessly overnight to ensure that that does not happen. Our lawsuit will seek a court order to immediately stop the enforcement of the OMB policy and to preserve essential funding for Americans.
Unbelievable, right? Luciana Cluth, thank you so much. Again, appreciate the generosity. Simon, I wanted to get to you. I think we have one more. Gosh, you guys are just, I know you're fired up about this, and I'm fired up about this too, because it's like, okay, America voted. And I'm going to go back to the statistic, whether you're looking at the New York Times or Fox News, there's some consensus there. 87% of Americans agree that you cannot have people here in this country that are criminals illegally. And yet you've got these state lawmakers, AGs out there trying to defend the criminals. I mean, haven't you kind of lost your way? When you're out there working so hard to defend the criminals, instead of working so hard to make sure that the people that live in your jurisdiction, thank you very much, are safe. They need to be safe, and that is where your effort should be. So yes, America elected somebody that they believe actually can succeed in making us safe, make America safe again, make America great again, make America prosperous again, make America healthy again. I mean, all of these things that we need to embrace. I mean, it's very, very, very true. Thank you, Freely Smile. Thank you. I just wanted to shout out some of you guys. Maybe I'll do more of this at the end. It is nice to have you here and such a wonderful group. All of you, really, I mean that. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell so that you know when I am live every day. All right, Letitia is making it clear she doesn't want to stop suing Donald Trump, and she's going to keep it going as much as she can, no matter what. I think she actually said that. Am I stealing her words? No matter what.